Hi, welcome to Rosetree Glass Blowing Studio and Gallery. My name is Mark Rosenbaum. I'm the owner of this studio with my wife Brenda. And we kind of thought that everybody's cooped up and needs things to do, so we would show you the magic that we have with glass blowing. I'm not a professional actor, so I might stumble a little bit. I am a professional glass blower. I've been blowing glass for over 40 years, 42 years or so. So if you have any questions to ask while the live is going on, please type them in. My assistant Darcy is behind the camera, and she will relay those questions to me, and I'll try to answer them while I'm blowing glass. And I'm going to treat this kind of like I do our blow your own sessions. I'll introduce the equipment to you, and I will tell you what's going on as I'm making the piece. Today I'm going to make a heart bowl. And a heart bowl is, like the name says, it's a heart-shaped bowl. I feel that everybody needs a little heart and love and whatever in their day right now. So that's what we're going to start this with. Hopefully y'all will like what we do here, and we'll be able to do a few more of these and just kind of have fun with it. So there are three basic pieces of equipment that every studio has to, or should have. One is the glass blowing furnace. The furnace is actually what holds the molten glass, and the glass is in our furnace is 2,050 degrees constantly, 24/7. We turn the furnace off. It takes over a week to come back up to temperature, so we keep it on all the time. We have in our studio we have 3 workstations. Each workstation has its own reheating chamber. The reheating chamber is just hot. There's no glass involved there. It's just as the name said, it's just to reheat the piece. That's running at about 2100, 2150 or so Fahrenheit. Those are 2 pieces of equipment. The last piece of equipment are annealing ovens, and an annealing oven is the place you put the glass in once the glass is done being made. When you're done with the piece, it's still really hot. It's still over 1,000 degrees, which in glass terms is kind of cold, but in human terms, it's really hot. So we put it in the annealing oven, which is about 920 degrees or so. The piece stabilizes there, so the whole piece becomes 920 degrees, and then we slowly cool it down to room temperature overnight. It takes about 14 hours or so to come down to room temperature. If we just left it out and let it cool on its own, it would go from hot to cold too fast, and it'll break. So that's the basic equipment that we have that you'll see today. Basic tool I'm using is a blowpipe. Blowpipe is the same kind of tool that glass blowers have been using for over 2,000 years. Obviously not stainless and rubber and plastic, but it's the same kind of steps and methodology. So the blowpipe is what you use to get the glass out of the furnace, and what you're building on to shape the glass. So that's basically tools and equipment right now. I will say that we probably have a range of elementary school up to post-university people. So I'll try to, if I can, talk, have my answers in terms that everybody will understand. So, pretty much that's the beginning. This heart bowl is going to be 2 layers of glass. First layer is just going to be clear. Second layer will have our color on it. Each layer is called a gather because you're gathering the glass onto the plate. So I'm going to go get my first gather now, and Darcy's going to walk over with me, and we're going to show you what it looks like inside the furnace. So, inside here is a big ceramic bowl called a crucible, and the crucible holds the glass. It's 400 pounds worth of glass in here. This is powered by electricity. So when you open it up, you see it's hot. 2050 is hotter than lava. Okay? You'll see the rim of the bowl I was telling you about, and the glass is inside that bowl. So this is my first layer of glass. You have to keep the blowpipe turning all the time, because if you stop, the glass has the consistency of honey, and it just wants to drip off the pipe. So I just have to keep turning it. So we're going to come back over here. And what I'm doing is I'm cooling the outside of the glass. So to shape it and to make it so my bubble, when I start blowing, it goes in the right shape. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to blow into the pipe, put my finger on the end, and fill it with air. When the cold air hits the hot glass, it heats up and expands and pushes against the soft glass and blows my initial bubble. I don't know if you can see that. So it has the bubble inside. So that's the inside of the bowl. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let that cool off. I'm going to let that cool. The color is kind of orangey now, so that I can get the next layer on top. If I now, this layer would not support the next layer, and it would get really floppy. So right now I'm letting this build up, cool down, and be like the bone to support the next layer on top. So we have a little bit of time. With Facebook Live, I think if you let me know you're there, you press a little like, or you press a little heart if you really like it, and just we had a lot of people who are interested in this, and I'd just like to know if you're actually out there. So, you know, show us some love too, and we'll continue this in a second. So next layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another gather glass, come over here, I'm going to roll it onto the. All right, we lost connection, and again, this is not high tech. This is on a phone, so we might lose connection every now and then, and we're back. So this is colored glass chips that are formulated to fit this glass, which means when glass heats up, it expands. When it cools off, it contracts a tiny little bit. But if it's off at all, the piece will crack. This is made to put on to my glass so the piece doesn't crack. So into the furnace I go. One more layer, one more gather. And with this gather, I'm going to roll into the chips, and you'll see that the chips stick onto the hot glass. Anybody has any questions out there? I can blow glass and talk at the same time. So you see it's a nice even coat. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up. I'm going to melt those into the glass, and then start working on my decoration.
Do you wear gloves to protect your hands from the heat?
No, because I don't wear gloves because it's like playing the piano. You have to have touch, you have to have feel. It's not that hot right here. If I was way up here, yeah, that would be kind of hard. But where I am on the pipe, it doesn't get hot. Or it shouldn't get hot. So as you can see, the chips are all melted into the piece. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up one more time, and I'm going to put it in what's called an optic mold. And an optic mold will make ridges in the piece. So in the hard molds, I want a certain look to it, and you'll see the look that I get when I use the optic mold. I gotta heat up really hot, really hot. And please, if you can't hear me, let me know and I'll speak louder.
Dolly wants to know, how did you get started in this years ago?
I went to art school and at Tyler School of Art in Philadelphia. And in art school, I was in the ceramics department, and they had a glass blowing studio with the ceramics department. And okay, I'm a 19-year-old, 20-year-old boy, and in there is this studio with flames and rock and roll music going all the time and just open all night. And it's like, this is where I want to be. And that's where the love started.
All right, Abby, who is 8, wants to know what your favorite item is to make out of glass.
That's kind of hard because, you know, I like it all. I think what I like best is whatever new pieces that I'm doing. That would probably be, and you can see I'm cutting the glass, giving the cut glass on the saw. So the more recent pieces, the newest pieces, I think are what I like doing best, just because they're still a little bit of a challenge and not something I've done for a long time. Yeah, good question.
Claire wants to know, do you keep a bowl of ice nearby in case you burn your hands?
No, we have aloe plants outside, and we have aloe gel over here, and we have burn cream. We have all that stuff, but hopefully you never have to use it. Also, yellow mustard is really good for burns.
Oh, didn't know that one.
Yep. not Creole mustard, yellow mustard. I'd like to hear maybe some if we have some elementary school kids out there who have a question.
Well, I've got Emma, who's 9, wants to know, why doesn't the heat or fire melt the stick you're using?
The stick is the pipe is made out of stainless steel, and it has a higher melting point. If I left it in there, it would start to bend and melt, but it's not in there long enough to do that. Good question. If it was made out of copper, it would definitely melt and bend.
What are you making today?
I'm making a heart bowl.
All right. See, from Max Pell, age 7.
Okay, hold on. 1 second. So I'm doing an air trap again, blowing into the pipe, holding my finger on the end, and you look closely, you'll start to see the piece start to bulge out right towards the end of the pipe, and you can tell that my bubble is still in there. See how it's getting bigger? So that tells me my bubble's in. So I have a Max over there. Ask the questions.
Yes, Max wants to know, do you get hot when you're close to the fire?
It gets warm. August in New Orleans, it gets very warm in here. But you get to the point where your body starts to get used to it, and you sweat a whole lot, you drink a whole lot of water and Gatorade and stuff, and you do what you have to do, and you hope that winter comes soon.
Charlie?
Hold on. This tool is called, this is a pair of jacks, and what I'm doing is I'm cutting a line into the piece, and what the line does is this is where we're going to separate it from the pipe eventually. So that's important to have in there right now. Another question?
Yes, Charlie, who's 9, wants to know what your favorite piece is.
Okay. My favorite piece that I've ever done, I don't know. I have a couple pieces in the studio which are really big and ornate, and they have a lot of New Orleans theme on them, different New Orleans scenes and themes. Also, I guess those are my favorite.
Roman wants to know, what's the hardest piece you've ever made?
The one I was just explaining, the one with the New Orleans themes on it. What I'll do is I will post a picture of it Okay, right now I'm gonna use an auto blower, which just saves me from moving around a whole lot and having another person blow while I'm shaping. It's just an air tube that's blowing into the pipe and lets me shape. So I'm just measuring, just make sure everything is the right size. And am I behind one question, or are we?
Nope, that was you were talking to Roman, and I think you answered that one.
Okay, so what I'm doing now is making a flat spot on it because the bowl has to sit on the table. If it's not flat, it's going to roll. So I got the piece all set up. I got my decoration in it. I got the bottom half shaped. Now I have to shape the top half of the part bowl. So remember the line that I cut in there? I'm going to cut it off of that line. By doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another rod with a little bit of glass on the end. It's called a punty. I'm going to put the punty on the bottom, put it off here, and transfer it from the blowpipe to the punty. Okay? So that'll be right now.
Sarah wants to know, do you put your own NOLA spin on your art? And if so, how do you do that with the molten glass? Shapes, colors, etc.
I do some NOLA themes. A lot of my work is, we have a set line. I gotta go this way to get to the punty. And I try to get the colors and that kind of stuff are very New Orleans with bright colors. But all my work is not centered around New Orleans, although we do it here. So this is called punty rod. Has a little bit of glass on the top. I'm going to shape that, and then I'm going to take the piece that we've been making and put it on my bench and make the punty. Put it on the bottom of it, and there's two glass. This is hot. This is hot. They stick together. This is a file with a little bit of diamond on it, and I'm using water to score it and show you what will happen in 1 second. Just tap it, and it comes out to the punty. So now I'm going to heat up the top part.
So Jeff Reynolds wants to know, who's better at blowing glass, Max or Marcy, your son or your daughter?
I don't know if Marcy's blown glass. Marcy, if you're out there, let me know. Max has done a little glass blowing, and as a proud father, I would have liked them both to do more, but they've chose their own career paths. Marcy's a nurse, who's doing really well and helping out. Max is a graphic designer, so he's a third-generation artist. My father was an artist, I'm an artist, and Max is an artist. And all three of us make our living doing art.
What's your favorite color to make? Ryland, who's 5 in Idaho, wants to know.
I'm a blue person. Darcy's a purple person.
Purple.
So I heated up the top, and I'm using those jacks again to kind of open the piece up. And eventually, I'm going to do another reheat or two, and we're going to open the lip of the piece. We're going to open it up so it's more of a bowl shape.
So Vincent, age 8, wants to know how.
Nobody's ever asked that. It's about. It's heavy when you get a lot of glass on the end. It just seems really heavy because there's a whole lot of glass on one side of it. But on its own, it's not that heavy, and you kind of balance it.
So I almost missed Jack. Sorry, Jack. Jack wants to know, do you actually blow the glass like blowing bubbles?
Yes. Yes, and I did some of that already with the air trap.
All right, we're back.
Okay. I was talking about
Blowing a bubble.
blowing the bubble. So yeah, I'm using an auto blower to blow the bubble with me. It's just easier. Maybe next time, what I'll do, the next piece that I do for y'all, I won't use that at all. You can see the actual me blowing the piece all the way out. So you see, it's going to be more of a bowl shape. And these are just wood jacks, and it doesn't chill the glass as quickly as metal would do.
Roman
You see, we're getting kind of bowl shape.
Roman wants to know, how many pieces do you make on the average day?
It depends on the day. If we're doing something quick, like ornaments, it could be 30 or 40. If I'm doing just bowls and vases, depending on the vase, I mean, if I'm doing large, heavy vases, I could do maybe 3, and then I kind of get tired. So I'm heating up the whole piece, and now I'm going to do the heart part, shape it like a heart.
So let's see. Max wants to know about the stickers on the furnace. Well, on your
The button,
reheating chamber.
the sticker on the furnace, the buttons are just, friends of mine, we all use buttons as gifts to each other when we see each other, usually during Jazz Fest. And that's just something we give to each other as kind of friendship badges kind of thing.
How long have you been doing blowing? Alexia, age 7, wants to know.
I've been blowing last 42 years.
All right. How hot is the furnace? Amy wants to know.
That one is about 2100 degrees, 2200 degrees.
Eleanor wants to know how long you heat the glass.
How long I heat it, depending on the piece. Heat it long enough so that it stays hot enough for me to be able to shape it while I now have a heart shape. So this is a heart bowl. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to heat it up one last time, even the heat on it a little bit, take it over and crack it off on a special table we have, and finish it off and put it into the oven.
Abby wants to know, how did you get the white spots on the bowl you're making?
That was in the color that I picked up on the second. So this, I'm just going, if we put the putty on correctly, you should tap it, and it should come right off. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking a torch, and I'm going to fire polish and smooth out the rough spots that just broke off. And that is your heart bowl. Goes into the oven. And that'll be about 16 hours later. It'll be down to room temperature. So, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm hoping to do more of these. Please, what I'd like you to do is look on my website that we make here and suggest something for the next one. Can't be huge pieces because we only have about a half hour, but take your suggestions and make those pieces. So it's www.rosetreegallery.com, and you follow us there, you follow us on Facebook, all of that. I enjoyed doing this. This is great. I'm really excited about doing a whole series of these. Hope you tell your friends, hope you tell your teachers, and we'll just let this go nationwide, and I'll answer questions.
All right, we're back.
Okay, I see that there are a bunch of questions still. I can sit at the bench and answer your questions for a few minutes longer before everybody signs, logs off, whatever. Today for a reason. We're all going through this, So love one another, hug one another, be good to one another.
Don't hug one another.
Don't hug. Oh, sorry. Can't hug.
Somebody
Okay.
wants to know if they could see a close-up of it or not.
I will post a picture tomorrow of it, and you can see it, and we will just have it on rotating, and you can see the whole piece.
All right, we're back.
All right. Anybody have any other questions? I'll sit for another 10 minutes or so if you want me to.
Do you want me to go back to a couple of the questions?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Abby 8, how do you make it so it doesn't have any cracks? Mama thinks the answer has to do with how you cool it down.
So while you're working the piece, it has to be a certain temperature. If you let it go below that temperature, the piece will crack. So that's why I went back and forth, reheating it, shaping it, reheating it, shaping it. Then when we're done, it goes into the oven where it cools very, very, very slowly, and that keeps it from cracking.
Vincent wants to know, where did you get the glass that you use for these pieces? Is there something special about it?
Yes, very good question. The glass we're using, the clear glass, is made in Germany, and it comes in little bitty, look like little ice cubes, and it's formulated for us so that it heats up really nicely and blows out smoothly. It's not like bottle. If you just use Coke bottles and things like that, that glass doesn't blow really well. It's really have a lot of life to it. It doesn't have time for you to blow. This has a lot more time to make a piece with each heat.
And then I missed one earlier, somebody was asking if we could get a look around the studio and the gallery, but maybe for another day.
What we'll do is we'll probably do some virtual tours around the gallery. I think what we're going to do is, because our gallery's closed like most places, we'll do some virtual stuff.
After that.
Okay, and I'll say this now. I'm sorry that the connections keep going out, but I think that everybody is online everywhere, and I think it's just flooding all the towers. So please excuse that we keep going on and on. Virtual gallery. What we're going to do is we're probably going to sell pieces out of the gallery. You don't have to buy them to walk around the gallery. I'd love if you did, but what we'll do is we'll walk around the gallery, pick a piece to buy for people to look at closely, and if somebody wants to buy it, they can. So we will walk around the gallery every now and then during the week.
And the last one was just, can we have a closer look? And I think we answered that one with, we'll do it later.
Closer look will come tomorrow. Just stay tuned, and I'll post the picture.
One more thing, Abby, can you put glitter and a nice smell in it?
You can put glitter in it. A nice smell. I mean, the glass doesn't really smell, but you can definitely put something inside to make it smell nice. Probably a Muse girl, with the glitter and a nice smell. All right. I loved having y'all here. I'm so glad you could join us.